Hello there, Brick Fanatics. 2025 is rapidly coming to a close, and with it, a bunch of really interesting, neat LEGO sets are going to retire, which means that the LEGO Group will stop manufacturing new stock. Typically, over the course of the year, the LEGO Group will shift around this retirement schedule that they have internally, so that some LEGO sets which are selling a little bit better will stay on store shelves a little bit longer. Some LEGO sets which maybe are not selling quite as well will be moved forward and retire a little bit sooner. That's not really been happening this year, which means that anything that has been on any of these retiring sets list videos this year are probably actually going to retire by the end of this year. The way that this works is that the LEGO Group has a cut-off date, in this case December 31st, 2025, by which point they will absolutely definitely have stopped manufacturing new stock. That doesn't mean that a LEGO set will disappear entirely, because there may well be some stock left on various different store shelves around the world for a while after this, but it also doesn't mean that a set will definitely stay on store shelves until that December 31st cut-off, because if the LEGO Group stops manufacturing stock a little bit sooner, if supplies run out, then you might end up seeing things disappearing a little bit before then. We saw this last year with sets like the Ultimate Collector Series 8080, which had already sold out in a lot of places before the Black Friday sales that a lot of LEGO fans like to hold out for. Last week, quite a few LEGO sets that are retiring by the end of this year started experiencing stock shortages, and that has led to the purpose of this video to give you a rundown of a lot of the LEGO sets that are already starting to sell out in various different places around the world. If you go to the LEGO website, you will see that a bunch of LEGO sets are now listed as being on back order, which means that the LEGO Group currently doesn't have any stock, but they're willing to take your money and promise that they will get you one as soon as possible once they've been able to manufacture a few more of these things. Other LEGO sets are listed as out of stock, which means that the LEGO Group can't even promise when they're going to have more units, and some very few are listed as sold out, which means basically they're already gone. It's worth paying attention to any of these sets where supply is currently not keeping up with demand and which are going to be retiring by the end of this year, because these are probably some of the ones that are going to start disappearing entirely first. To that end, I have compiled a list of LEGO sets which are currently listed as on back order or sold out, which are supposed to be retiring by the end of this year. I'm afraid I wasn't able to check the LEGO website for absolutely every country in the world because there's a lot of them, but certainly I did check the United Kingdom's website, the United States website, Canada's website, Australia's website, and Germany's website, which gives us a nice healthy overview of English language places around the world and European places around the world, which based on the viewing statistics for this YouTube channel are the places that you are most likely to live. I did also briefly check the French website, but that appeared to be mostly the same as the German one, which makes sense because they're coming from the same places. It is worth pointing out that stock shortages tend to vary from country to country. Something which is entirely sold out in one country is freely available elsewhere. The point of this video is not to break everything down and say if you live in the United Kingdom you need to watch out for this set, and this set, because if it's on this list that means there are stock shortages for it somewhere in the world, and that suggests that when it comes to crunch moment, when things actually start selling out from the LEGO website and not being replenished, these are the ones that you probably need to keep an eye out for. It is also worth bearing in mind that just because something is on back order or sold out at the moment, it doesn't mean that the LEGO Group is not going to replenish that stock between now and the end of the year. So don't take this as a hard and fast list. Just because something is on this list, it doesn't mean that it is gone forever. It simply means that these are LEGO sets which are going to retire by the end of this year and which are already experiencing stock issues, so are probably going to get more difficult to find the closer that we get to that retirement date. Apologies, by the way, if you feel like I'm really laying it on thick in describing and explaining all of this. I get that maybe you personally completely understand what's going on here, but for some other viewers this might be their first time watching one of these videos. English might not be their first language, or they may have other issues that make it more difficult to understand, so I'm just trying to be as clear as possible here. Now, as we go through this list, you might see something on here that you think, oh, I would like to purchase that before it runs out of stock entirely, depending on what the stock level is like where you happen to live. If that is the case, there is an affiliate link down in the description. There is a QR code currently on screen. Please help support Brick Fanatics by using those links to go to the LEGO website. It doesn't cost you a penny extra, but if you click on that link, it'll take you straight over to the LEGO website. We will get a percentage of the sale, and you will be helping us to produce more videos and more content for the website. Right, that's the explanation out of the way. Let's delve into the list. The following LEGO sets are either on back order or are sold out somewhere in the world on the LEGO website at the moment, and these sets are all retiring by the end of December 31st, 2025 at the absolute latest. Star Wars, and this is a great place to start because we have our first LEGO set which is sold out in the United States and Canada. 75393 TIE Fighter and X-Wing mashup. As said, this is available in other places around the world, but you cannot get this thing on the LEGO website for the US and Canada. It's one that I've seen at deep discount from several retailers over the course of this year, so I do get the sense that maybe some retailers are trying to get rid of old stock for this one and just clear it out a bit quicker. The rest of these are on back order, at least somewhere in the world, which is a case of the LEGO Group not having stock right this second, but they absolutely promise that they will have more stock before these things retire. 75331 the Razor Crest, 75380 Mos Espa Pod Race Diorama, and a Brickhead set 40547 Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. Ideas. The following 2 LEGO Ideas sets are currently on back order somewhere in the world. 21335 Motorized Lighthouse, 21343 Viking Village. Marvel. The following Marvel set is out of stock in the US and Canada, although it is freely available in some other places around the world. 76178 Daily Bugle. The following LEGO Marvel set is on back order somewhere in the world. 76286 Guardians of the Galaxy, the Milano. Harry Potter. Now, before I start with the Harry Potter segment of this video, I want to make it clear that there are extenuating circumstances here. We are a week away from the September the 1st big Back to Hogwarts event for the LEGO Group, where the LEGO Group has sold an awful lot more Harry Potter stuff than normal because of various different deals and promotions that they've been running. Do bear that in mind, because while a lot of these LEGO sets are currently experiencing stock shortages, I fully expect the LEGO Group to restock store shelves long in time for Christmas for a bunch of these. The following LEGO Harry Potter set is listed as sold out. That's sold out, not out of stock on the US website, so it doesn't look like more stock is coming for this one. It is just gone forever for US customers. 75978 Diagon Alley. The following LEGO Harry Potter set is currently listed as out of stock on the UK website only. Now bear in mind, this one is not intended to retire by the end of December 31st, but instead by July of 2026. I wanted to include it anyway because it is coming up on its retirement date as well. It's just something to bear in mind. 76448 Fawkes Dumbledore's Phoenix. As said, that one's out of stock in the UK. It is retiring in 2026, but halfway through 2026, so it is coming up on its retirement date, but that one's not a December 2025 retiring set. The rest of these Harry Potter LEGO sets are all listed as on back order somewhere in the world and will retire by the end of December 31st, 2025. 76391 Hogwarts Icons Collector's Edition, 76439 Ollivander's and Madame Malkin's Robes, 76440 Triwizard Tournament The Arrival, 76428 Hagrid's Hut An Unexpected Visit, 76423 Hogwarts Express and Hogsmeade Station, 76427 Buckbeak, 76431 Hogwarts Castle Potions Class, 76430 Hogwarts Castle Owlery, 76426 Hogwarts Castle Boathouse, 76421 Dobby the House Elf, 76441 Hogwarts Castle Dueling Club, and 76434 Aragog in the Forbidden Forest. Technic. Both of these Technic sets are retiring by the end of this year and are on back order somewhere in the world. 10317 Land Rover Classic Defender 90, 42115 Lamborghini Sian FKP 37. Icons. Again, these 2 sets are retiring by the end of the year and are on back order somewhere in the world. 10298 Vespa 125, 10332 Medieval Town Square. Ninjago. Again, these 2 sets are currently on back order and are retiring by the end of this year, December 31st, 2025 at the latest. That is the same for absolutely everything else on this list. These are all back order sets. They are all retiring by the end of the year. 71799 Ninjago City Markets, 71818 Tournament Battle Arena. Dreams. 71497 Cooper's Tiger Mech and Zero's Hot Rod Car. Batman/DC. 76274 Batman with the Batmobile vs Harley Quinn and Mr. Freeze. 76301 Batman and Batmobile vs Mr. Freeze. 76302 Superman Mech vs Lex Luthor. Creator 3-in-1. 31158 Sea Animals. Wednesday. 76781 Wednesday in Enid's Dorm Room. Disney, 43242 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Cottage, 43248 Inside Out 2 Emotion Cubes, 43222 Disney Castle, 43230 Walt Disney Tribute Camera. Friends, 42656 Heart Lake City Airport and Airplane, 42606 Mobile Bakery Food Cart, 42630 Heart Lake City Water Park. Seasonal, 40744 Christmas Ornament Selection, Exclusives, 41839 Message Board. There is one other LEGO set that I wanted to mention that is currently on back order, which is retiring by the end of this year, but I felt like it was something that was worth mentioning separately. Minecraft, 21280 Minecraft Advent Calendar 2025. This is the first of the Advent calendars that I have seen thus far, just on the countries that I have looked at, which is experiencing a stock shortage. I imagine that an awful lot more are going to become difficult to find over the course of the next few months, because that is generally the case. Advent calendars tend to be a bit of a gamble because some of them sell out way in advance of you needing them on the 1st of December, and some of them tend to just linger on store shelves and end up getting a big discount. Now, as the prices of these advent calendars have risen, I do feel like a lot more people are very hesitant to bite the bullet and actually purchase these, especially given that the Christmas buying period is also going on at around the same time. And so as a result of that, I do feel like it's become a little bit easier to get hold of some of these in the run up to Christmas than it has done in previous years, but it really does depend. It depends on the advent calendar itself, how popular it ends up proving, and crucially, whether or not people feel like they can get a discount on it. Anyway though, that is a rundown of a bunch, I'm not saying all of them, but a bunch of LEGO sets that are already experiencing stock shortages and are retiring by the end of this year. Sets that are already beginning to sell out, although I do anticipate that for most, if not all of these, there will be more stock on the LEGO website between now and the end of the year. And as said, they're out of stock in some places around the world, but not in others. But regardless of where you live and regardless of what the stock levels are currently like in your particular country, I think it is well worth looking at that list and just bearing in mind that some of these LEGO sets are going to become increasingly difficult to get hold of as the LEGO Group winds down production for them, and as that demand, especially around the festive period, is significantly larger than the amount of stock that remains on store shelves. To that end, I've already mentioned it, but just one more time, if you are going to be purchasing any of these LEGO sets from the LEGO website, you can do Brick Fanatics a huge favour by purchasing through the affiliate link down in the description or the QR code that is on screen. These take you straight to the LEGO website and we get a percentage of the sale when you purchase through those links. It doesn't cost you a penny extra, but it helps to keep the lights on at Brick Fanatics, helps to keep us making videos and content for the website. If you do that, we are very, very appreciative. Otherwise, do let us know what you think in the comments down below, which of these LEGO sets you are going to be trying to pick up before they go out of stock. And of course, do all of the rest of the YouTube things. Give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe and the notification bell. These little acts do make a genuine difference to the channel and our performance in the YouTube algorithm. And make sure that you go to brickfanatics.com, by the way, for coverage of all things LEGO, especially in the run up to a bunch of these sets retiring. And you can sign up to our newsletter so that you never miss anything LEGO related ever again. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day.